Hi there, I'm Don.
And hi, I'm Cindy. Welcome to Pearls of Liberty, October 19th, 2013. And the immediate crisis of the debt ceiling being raised is over, I guess, for the moment. And we are left with just what we had before. And
Well, isn't it that it's an unlimited debt ceiling in this interim 3-month period? I heard that.
I heard that too.
Yeah, and so I think we're in a worse situation than we were before.
Well,
and the federal workers that were laid off are actually still getting paid for the period they were laid off and stuff like that, which means that actually no money was saved. If anybody was under the illusion that money was being saved, it definitely doesn't look that way.
No, and I think the most baffling thing about that whole circumstance is that for 150 days, I think that's the number of days, the debt didn't go up. It was stuck at 16 trillion and change.
Yeah, they're obviously playing funny games, and I know that kind of strange thing was actually happening at the Treasury website for a few months, even before the shutdown started. So there's definitely some financial monkey business that's going on.
And we have all these, all these, I want to say fake crises. They're not, it's not precise to say that they're fake because there are real issues. But we have these issues just fired at us one after another, and it becomes difficult to use rational thought to process what's going on. And one of the reasons,
that's rule number 4, isn't it?
Yeah, one of the reasons is one of these 6 Alinsky rules that explain Obama's words and deeds. Do you want to go through each one?
Yeah, why don't we just look at them briefly?
Okay, they are. It really, a light bulb goes on in reading this article because so much of what's going on, what we read about in the news, what we hear about, is oriented around these 6 rules.
Yeah, number 1, politics is all about power relations, but to advance one's power, one must couch one's position in the language of morality. Everyone is always seeking the moral high ground. So this is, once you recognize that this is what politicians do and that they are all it is posturing in order to gain the perceived moral high ground, then you begin to see through the facade. And a lot of people already get that. But there are levels of deception even still that most people don't see.
Sure, and so there's not a lot of, most of what they say, if they're following these rules, really is not about what is really going on, but it's about how they wish to be perceived.
Yeah.
And I'll read rule number 2. There is only 3, it should be there are, but there are only 3 kinds of people in the world: rich and powerful oppressors, the poor and disenfranchised oppressed, and the middle class whose apathy perpetuates the status quo.
So guess what that means is that they're actually about the business of, and the middle class in America has historically been large, it's getting smaller, but the agenda is to keep the middle class apathetic and not awake and aware of politics. The awakening that's happening now is a problem for the power brokers. So they want to keep it so there's only 3 kinds of people: rich and powerful oppressors, and poor and disenfranchised oppressed, and the apathetic middle class. But they're having increasingly difficulty in doing that. That's a good thing.
And failing keeping the middle class apathetic, I guess they try to have the middle class be confused.
Yeah, and that leads into one of the next ones, either 3 or 4.
Well, this does help to perpetuate confusion.
Yeah.
Change is brought about through relentless agitation and troublemaking of a kind that radically disrupts society as it is.
And if you understand the Hegelian dialectic of problem, reaction, solution, you'll recognize the relentless agitation mentioned here as being the first step, the problem creation, in which the problem is created in secret by the people in power in order to gain the reaction that they're seeking. So you don't want to appear, if you're a politician like Obama, you don't want to appear to be a troublemaker. You want to appear to be somebody that is providing the solution to the troublemakers. And so you're pointing out the troublemakers are actually the Tea Party and the people that carry around Confederate flags and get Rachel Maddow to tell lies about the dragging and throwing of barricades and the racism, and it's all about a black man in the White House and nonsense like that. So you get the people pointing elsewhere, but people are seeing through this, and that's a good thing. So once you see these points and broken down like this, you can start to see it even more clearly.
And our next point, there can be no conversation between the organizer and his opponents. The latter must be depicted as being evil.
Yeah, just call people evil, just call them racist, and that makes you retain the moral high ground, and it removes the need for the debate, because obviously you're the one that has the moral high ground, and you would be discrediting your own self if you were to even enter into dialogue with such evil people. So that's the posture, and that's what's going on. But again, with this one, people are starting to see through it. People are seeing that it is just posturing. It is just actually divide and conquer, and people want a real dialogue to work through problems, and they see people that posture and always point the finger at the other guy as being part of the problem. People are seeing that now.
Is this partly what was going on this last week in Congress when Obama refused at certain points to negotiate?
Absolutely. He was saying, that's the very thing that I had in mind, is that he was saying that whenever somebody doesn't negotiate or doesn't agree with his position, that negotiations have broken down, and that they have ceased, and it's the radicals that won't come to the table. And he's the one that's actually, his idea of negotiation is people basically agree with him, the whole thing. There is no give and take.
And number 5, the organizer can never focus on just a single issue. He must move inexhaustibly from one issue to the next.
Yeah, chaos is the friend of the person who's trying to bring the societal breakdown so that they can restructure it according to their vision, and they want to perpetuate chaos. And the humans will, if the focus is left there long enough, come up with a solution or a consensus or a way that leads out of the confusion into some kind of a, if not a solution, at least a stable compromise. But if you want to keep things stirred up so that you can create the most chaos and bring the most societal transformation, then you don't want focus. You want continually stirring the pot and moving from one thing to the next.
Well, we see this not just with Obama, but it seems like the whole mainstream media has taken on this strategy of just rapid firing different crisis almost every week.
Yeah, that's absolutely the strategy of the media, is just to help perpetuate the chaos.
You know, I just want to mention in reading this and thinking about this, I really admire John Rappaport, because to a large extent he doesn't allow his blog to be impacted necessarily by what's going on in the moment. If he is addressing a topic, he will continue for some time to address that topic.
Yeah, he does maintain focus. If there'll be a major event like the Boston bombing, or some kind of thing that has to do with psychiatric drugs and some kind of a killing that's happened, then he's going to stay focused on that until there is, basically he's not so much trying to educate or dialogue, but he's bringing out all facets of that pertain to that situation, and he continues with that. So and he's developed a perspective in which he's able to not be drawn into the swirling controversy, but keep a bird's eye view of the whole thing, and it's quite valuable. He's a great person to read regularly, because you'll find that you're drawn into a higher vantage point as well.
Moving on to number 6, taunt one's opponents to the point that they label you a dangerous enemy of the establishment. How does that one work?
Well, this is actually a difficult one to deal with, and even though Obama is in the establishment, he's trying to overthrow the establishment, so it gets kind of confusing about what's meant by an enemy of the establishment, because is the establishment a constitutional republic, or is that no longer establishment? It's rather unclear. But anyway, labeling Obama as an enemy, being labeled as an enemy, actually plays into their hands, because it just becomes name-calling. The dialogue degenerates to the point of name-calling. It's very important to always keep the discussion on a cognitive, rational basis, to point out logically the difference between constitutional government and what the current POTUS is doing, so that it's not just name calling. That's my take on that. What do you have to say?
And it's easy to poke holes in somebody's stand when the stand is, this guy is dangerous. But it's difficult to resist this one because this guy is dangerous.
It's kind of like bait and switch. You're definitely baited, you fall for the bait, you engage the enemy on his terms instead of your terms. What needs to happen is engaging the true enemy on your terms, not his. So it doesn't degenerate into just all kinds of minutia about all kinds of things that are going on, the swirling pot that we were talking about earlier, all of the different issues. You come up with a comprehensive agenda like impeachment and continue to pursue it, because there's abundant data there, and that's where that real change can happen for the better.
Sure. And
people, I want to say this, people always worry about, oh, well, then we just get Biden. That's not the point. The point is the American people saying, no, we will not put up with this. This is unconstitutional behavior, and if we don't take a stand now, it'll be no limit to the abuses that we'll tolerate. So impeachment is something that we must do, and once that message is out that the tyrants will be held accountable, then tyranny begins to decrease. And yeah, if there are insufficient grounds for Biden, and if he doesn't get the message and toe the line, then yeah, he'll come under fire too. So it's all about the American people regaining their strength and their control over their government.
Moving on, we just have a few things to share about Obamacare. And Dr. Jim Garrow has this great quote that Don found.
What I find encouraging in the aftermath of the debacle known as Obamacare is the resurgence of the Gandhi philosophy of nonviolent non-cooperation. It will work with the great assistance that the non-functioning site and program are offering. One cannot help but notice that Americans really do have an iron fist in a velvet glove called the Second Amendment, if it is ever needed. Do not visit the site that gives you away, referring to Obamacare.
And if you're tempted to visit the site, here, we have an image.
Yeah, we didn't visit the site, we got the image from someplace else.
This is just an image, so it's kind of safe.
I gotta say, it looks racist. That's a white woman there. Oh,
yeah,
man, they must want the racist to sign up. Is that it?
I don't know. You know, it's possible that it's possible that they scan your face through your laptop camera and determine what your race is, and then
show you the right
picture.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, they're clever, those guys. Yeah.
I don't know. They had so much trouble with this website, and there were people stating that Alex Jones was stating that it doesn't even really work at all. That all it really does is collect people's information.
Yeah, that was actually Mike Adams, and I think we talked about this last week. That now that I recall, that had put together the analysis of what was actually going on under the hood, and having that background himself and the ability to do that, said that this all it is really a front for the con game of gathering data on the American public.
And Mike Adams further said that the Obama administration has been caught in blatant software piracy. Script powering Healthcare.gov ripped off from a UK company.
I guess this must have been an attempt to make it work. I mean, I suppose the UK company was actually a real website.
Well, some people are wondering if Healthcare.gov, if that URL will be shut down because, if you have pirated anything on your website, they will shut down your URL. So this one should probably be shut down.
I think it should. It definitely should. We got an out-of-control, unlawful administration here. That's no doubt about it.
Evidently, some people have been able to sign up because...
Or at least think they have, well, they were quoted some numbers. They got some numbers somehow. So they're responding to Ben Swan, asking the question, did your healthcare cost go up or down? I don't think anybody's actually received any healthcare, so this isn't based on actual results, but based on quotes that were given them from, at least they think that were given them from the Healthcare.gov website.
And there are just some specific examples here of what has happened to people. People have responded to Ben Swan and shared what the results are. Now, I have to say, as you said, it's possible that what the results, the numbers that people are getting back are not even the correct numbers. However, a Facebook friend of ours, just to be honest, a Facebook friend of ours stated that she and her husband have signed up, and that this is going to cut their health care costs. I think she said by into 1/4 of what it was.
Yeah, and again, this is actually not real results. Just thinking, if you were running a con and you wanted to get people into the con, what would you do? You would give them a great deal. And to help spread the word. So I would strongly suspect that if you wanted to partake in this con, you should get in early because you'll get the best numbers. No matter that there's no way for the doctor to access your actual information, no matter that it's not integrated with any of the current healthcare providers, no matter anything like that practical, but you'll get quoted a low cost when you sign up so that you can help spread the word.
And, of course, we're not, with that, Don is being sarcastic, we're not advocating that anybody sign up. Everybody has to follow their own thoughts and plans, and we all need to make our own decisions.
Follow Gandhi, go to the sea, get your own salt.
Yeah, that really was, and Jim Garrow referenced Gandhi, and Alex Jones has been talking about that this week, and that is just such a great example. There was salt at the seashore in India, but the British did not want to allow the people to gather their own salt. They wanted them to buy their salt.
Gandhi took down the British Empire through non-compliance and non-violent non-cooperation. So this is the way that an awakened and enlightened people deal with tyrants. You don't have to get out your guns. Only in the case of defending your own life. All you need to do is be non-compliant, and as this awakening accelerates, more and more of us are inclined to behave that way. So I think this is looking good. And we have heard various scenarios of people that have projected the outcome in one way or another, either through some metaphysical means or some other means of projecting where things are going, and we win. We know that we're going to go through some difficult times, but we the people actually are victorious over this thing. So be encouraged and don't cower in fear.
Absolutely. And you know, even if things work to go from bad to worse, and we still this if you're a Christian, or according to many faiths, this is not our eternal home. So whatever we endure here is temporary, and we move into the next plane of existence. And of course, we do have hope for what will happen here, and we certainly have hope for future generations. And we personally feel responsible to leave a better world to those who come after us. So
primarily, I would say, with the financial monetary system, to change it away from being a slave system to being a system that promotes abundance and freedom.
Absolutely. And with that, we thank you for joining us for this week's Pearls of Liberty, and hope that you are having a wonderful weekend.
As always, we remind you to see the world the way that it really is, to see yourself in it. Walk your walk. You are the one you've been waiting for.